The first thing I heard wasn't the siren. It was Donna Whitmore's voice slicing through the trees like she'd been waiting for this moment. "I called the police. They're coming to put you in cuffs." She said it on my dock on my land like she owned the sentence, like she owned me. I'm Ethan Cole, mid-30s, federal agent. I deal in evidence timelines and people who lie with confidence. That weekend I wasn't looking for a fight. I was looking for quiet. Fresh divorce, too many long nights, and one place that still felt like mine. A cabin my grandfather left me outside Silver Pine Lake, Montana. Old wood, pine air, a dock that creaks in the same spots it did when I was a kid. Then Donna showed up like a storm in a cardigan. Designer boots, perfect hair, clipboard hugged to her chest like a shield. President of the Cedar Ridge Estates Homeowners Association, the kind of person who smiles only when she's winning. She didn't say hello. She pointed at my cabin like it was trash on her street. "This structure violates community standards," she announced loud enough for neighbors to hear. I blinked once. "Ma'am, this cabin's been here longer than your subdivision." Donna's lips tightened. "You are within our jurisdiction. You will comply." She shoved a packet toward me. Bold title. Multiple signatures. An emergency compliance order with a list that read like a shopping cart for a contractor: repaint the exterior, replace the roof, update the dock rails, professional landscaping, shoreline, restoration, and a total estimate of $15,000. I flipped the pages slowly. 15 days. "That's generous," she snapped. "Other residents take pride in this community." The word she used next was the tell, outsiders. She leaned in just enough to make it personal. "We don't tolerate outsiders making us look cheap." I kept my face calm. "I'll review it." Donna smiled like she'd already won. "You'll do more than review it." I wanted to believe that was the end of it. 3 days later, the certified mail started arriving like clockwork: fines, late fees, threats of a lien, a tone that wasn't a request. It was a declaration. $500 a day. Pay up or we take what we want. That's when I stopped treating Donna like a noisy neighbor and started treating her like a problem with a paper trail. Monday morning, I drove into the county courthouse and went straight to records. No speeches, no drama, just documents. Deed history, plat maps, boundary surveys, the kind of proof that doesn't care how loud someone talks. And it was clean. My parcel predated the subdivision. The cabin and dock were grandfathered in, written, filed, recorded, not a loophole, a fact. I made copies, highlighted the key lines, and mailed them to the HOA certified return receipt. Donna emailed back like I'd sent her a grocery list. "Your interpretation is incorrect," she wrote. "Immediate compliance is still required." Incorrect. Sure. So I started knocking on doors. It didn't take long before the neighborhood cracked open. Maria Alvarez, 83 years old, showed me her violation letter for having a vegetable garden visible from the street. A veteran named Tom had been fined for flying the American flag outside approved dimensions. A young couple had been warned their kid's swing set was visually disruptive. Same language, same threat, same signature. Donna wasn't protecting property values. She was enforcing obedience. Then the emergency meeting notice went out. Funny thing, it didn't go to everyone. It went to the people who always sided with Donna, the ones who liked rules, as long as the rules only hit someone else. I showed up anyway and sat in the back. Donna stood at the front with a projector and a laser pointer clicking through photos of my cabin like it was a crime scene. Red circles, big arrows, words like blight, nuisance risk. Board members watched her like she was the only adult in the room. She pushed a vote to label my cabin a public nuisance, the kind of label you can use to justify anything later. When it passed, Donna walked right past me in the hallway and said, "See, this is how a community functions. We don't need renegades." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't threaten her. I just said it straight. "You don't have jurisdiction over my parcel. The deed is clear. Those fines aren't enforceable." Donna smiled cold quick. "We enforce what we decide to enforce." That was the moment I understood what she thought HOA power was. Not guidelines, not maintenance. A weapon. The next week got uglier in a way that felt coordinated. A county inspector showed up unannounced, walked the property like he'd already written the result. When I pressed him, he pulled me aside, eyes down, and muttered, "Off the record." She offered me money to make this go faster. How much, I asked. $1,000, he said, like he was ashamed. It wasn't more. That night, someone filed an anonymous complaint saying my septic was contaminating the lake. The morning after that, flyers showed up on mailboxes with my cabin's photo and big letters, "Keep our lake clean." Rumors move faster than facts. That's the whole point. Then Internal Affairs called me in. Not because I broke laws, because Donna knew how to throw mud in a direction that made people react. Abuse of authority, her complaint said. Intimidation, threatening a community leader. I sat in a sterile office under fluorescent lights while someone I'd never met asked me to explain why I was in conflict with a neighborhood association. And when I walked out, I felt something I hate feeling, not doubt, pressure. Because this is how people like Donna win. They don't beat you on truth. They beat you on exhaustion. That night I stood on the dock staring at black water and listening to the wind run through the trees. I wasn't questioning myself. I was calculating damage, time, money, reputation, how long this could drag, how many hours I'd lose fighting someone with unlimited free time and a board that rubber-stamped her moods. For a minute, the practical option was simple. Sell the cabin, cut the loss, walk away. Not because I was unsure, but because I didn't want to donate a year of my life to a corrupt HOA with a clipboard addiction. Then I opened the HOA bylaws again, and that's when I found the clause that changed everything. Buried in the lakefront continuity section, a neat little rule wrapped in polite language. If the board declared a property a public nuisance, the HOA could force a sale at assessed value to a pre-approved community partner. I stared at that line until it felt like my eyes were burning. Then I looked up the partner name, Summit Peak Development, LLC. I dug through meeting minutes, old emails, public records. Summit Peak wasn't new. It had been hovering behind Donna's decisions for months. Community improvement projects, lakefront enhancement, strategic acquisitions. My cabin wasn't the real target. My shoreline was. And suddenly, Maria's garden finds, Tom's flag finds, the kids' swing set, all of it made perfect sense. Donna wasn't just harassing people. She was clearing the board. So I stopped reacting and I started building a case the way I build every case. Cameras, motion alerts, time-stamped logs, copies of every notice, every email, every fine, statements from neighbors Donna had been squeezing. No drama, just a file folder thick enough to break a table. Then I learned the last detail, the one that made my stomach go tight. Donna's husband was a federal agent, Ryan Whitmore. Not just in the system, in my division. My subordinate. I didn't confront him. I didn't warn Donna. I waited because people like Donna always get bold when they think they're untouchable. 2 nights before the next board meeting, my motion camera pinged. I pulled up the feed. Donna hair pulled back, dark jacket, walking onto my property with 2 men I didn't recognize. They carried wooden stakes and a folder. They moved fast, confident, like this was routine. One of them hammered a stake into the ground near the shoreline. Not at a real boundary marker, but where they wanted the boundary to be. The other slipped something into my shed. They weren't just trespassing. They were planting evidence. I watched the footage twice, heart steady, hands still. Because anger is loud, proof is louder. The next evening, the board meeting started like a show. Donna stood at the front smiling, clicking through slides like she was hosting a crime documentary about me. Environmental concerns, illegal structures, safety hazards. Then she lifted the folder like a trophy. "We have new evidence," she announced, voice shaking with excitement. "Evidence of boundary tampering and unauthorized materials." People murmured. Heads turned. The room leaned forward. Donna pointed straight at me. This is the type of person who thinks rules don't apply. I didn't stand up right away. I let her talk. I let her build her tower of lies as high as she wanted, because I already knew exactly how it would fall. When she finished, I nodded toward the back. The county prosecutor stood. 2 uniformed officers stepped in beside her. A local reporter raised a camera. Donna's smile faltered for half a second. I walked to the front, plugged in a flash drive, and put the video on the screen. No speech, no narration. Just Donna on my property at 11:47 p.m. 2 men with her, stakes going in, a folder sliding into my shed. You could feel the air change. Donna's face went pale, then hot. That's edited. That's illegal." The prosecutor didn't raise her voice. "Ms. Whitmore," she said, "you are under investigation for trespass fraud and evidence tampering." Donna looked around like the room would protect her, like her title would save her. It didn't. The officer stepped forward. Metal clicked. Donna's mouth opened. And nothing came out. As they walked her toward the exit, she tried one last move loud enough for everyone to hear. "You can't do this. I'm the president of the HOA." And Ryan Whitmore, standing in the back, frozen eyes locked on his wife, said quietly, "Not anymore." The door shut behind her, and that sound was the cleanest ending I've ever heard. Some people don't fear the truth. They fear the moment it's finally documented.